I think we are set to go.
Rolling. All right.
All right, I'm going to start recording now on my end.
Recording in progress.
Can we turn the water bottle just so that's perfect.
Ready to go? All right.
Cervical dystonia and dystonia, other forms, it's very painful. So muscles are in constant spasm and contraction. You know, my head is in constant motion, my shoulder is in constant motion.
Is that why you're holding your neck, Karen, to keep your head still?
Yes, it does help. It's what they call a sensory trick. So my brain is constantly telling the muscles to contract and move, and this helps minimize it, actually, and it helps keep my head straighter. So if I remove my hand, my head is going to go to the right, it's going to tilt to the right, and my shoulder will come up.
For 5 years, Karen Blanzy regularly received treatment for her condition at a medical clinic in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Her insurance paid 100% of the cost. That was until February of this year.
You know, I'm pretty good about looking over my statements. Yeah, I was just completely shocked, and I thought there's got to be some mistake.
Instead of her bill saying zero, Blanzy had a balance of more than $1,100.
They said that it was just some changes that they had made. My insurance company said the same, and that it was a revenue code. They had switched from billing as an office visit for treatment, and they switched it to outpatient hospital services.
And there was nothing different about your treatment?
No.
Same provider, same doctors, same nurses?
Yep, same place that I had always gone. Nothing had changed.
What did change had nothing to do with the treatments or even the building, but the business. Blanzy's clinic is owned by Corewell Health, a big health system that is the result of a merger a couple of years ago. At the end of last year, Corewell announced to patients that some clinics would now be owned and operated by the hospitals. In December, Blanzy got this letter from Corewell Health about the billing changes, stating that she can expect to see 2 charges on her statements from them in the future, and that the clinic will begin provider-based billing. The letter says even though the clinic or practice Blanzy went to may be located several miles away from an actual hospital, the facility itself may be owned by the hospital or considered part of it. Corewell added this is common in large health systems, where the hospital system owns the space and employs some of the team members. She requested they rebill her insurance using the in-office code, like they've done on her bill since 2019. But they refused to do so.
For them to change the way they bill it and say that it's a hospital service as an outpatient, it just didn't make sense to me.
Investigate TV reached out to Corewell Health for an on-camera interview. Corewell confirmed late last year Blanzy's neurology office became a hospital outpatient department owned and operated by Corewell Health Grand Rapids Hospitals, and stated the change was not a result of the merger. But they declined to discuss her case due to patient privacy and didn't explain the coding.
And look at this, look at this nonsense. The way the clinic's listed below bill for services is changing, and then you have like pages of which clinics might be affected, but not how, how is that okay?
Dr. Elizabeth Rosenthal, senior contributing editor of our partner KFF Health News, isn't surprised.
You and I both investigate these things, but how's a patient to know? I would, if I opened that bill, I would be really alarmed.
She says hospital charges for non-hospital care is a concern she hears from patients all the time.
And what had happened, and we see this all over the country, is the doctor's office where she got the treatment, which was a Botox shot, was suddenly rebranded as a hospital. So she was getting a hospital facility fee charge or a hospital code.
In fact, our partners, KFF Health News, found that the share of physicians working for a hospital or in a practice owned at least partially by a hospital or healthcare system increased from 29% in 2012 to 41% in 2022.
The U.S. Public Interest Research Group, or PIRG, says hospital billing codes allow for higher payments to support hospital infrastructure, like intensive care units, specialized equipment, and other expenses for fully staffed hospitals. Other costs come in what are typically called facility fees, flat fees meant to offset these extra costs of maintaining a large hospital, even if you don't actually go to the main building.
And we see this over and over again. The rebranding of doctors' offices, of outpatient clinics as hospitals for the purpose of billing.
And should the burden of that transition, that change, fall on the patient?
Well, you know, how's a patient to know? One of the hospitals I went to asked patients to sign a consent form beforehand saying, you realize that as of this year, we're going to be charging you a hospital facility fee. But I have to say that was in a hospital. This was not. So I think it's another one of our buyer beware warnings in healthcare.
Some states are working on solutions. Research from Georgetown University shows these states, including Colorado, Massachusetts, Maryland, Maine, and Washington, are trying to cut through the confusion of outpatient facility fees. Maine, for example, has a public notice requirement where providers must notify consumers online and in signage at the facility where they charge a facility fee. But many states don't have any specific protections. Some advocates are calling for the implementation of what's called
site-neutral payments. So basically, the payment is determined by the treatment you got, not where it was given. So whether it was in a hospital or an outpatient clinic or a doctor's office, it's the treatment that determines the charge. And that just seems much, much fairer than expecting patients to kind of figure out, is my doctor's office now considered a hospital?
But some critics of site-neutral payment reforms, mainly hospital industry representatives, believe those requirements could lead some hospitals to actually scale back or eliminate services at hospital outpatient departments, or could lead to decreases in revenue for hospitals, ultimately affecting patient care. As for Blanzy, she can't afford to pay over $1,100 every 3 months. Her treatments have stopped, while her contractions and muscle spasms continue every day.
I'd like to see them be more transparent. The bill is mine. I don't think I can do anything about that, but I can't be the only person that this has happened.
So the cost of care is the last thing on a patient's mind.